Alright, welcome back to another Embrace Destiny video, everyone. Thank you so much for clicking that link and joining us. Today we're going to be talking about random rolls in Destiny 2 and why they shouldn't return, at least not as they were in Destiny 1. Hopefully we find this video interesting, and yeah, please enjoy some Iron Banner gameplay in the background. I'm looking forward to the new changes that are coming later this month. So, a couple of quick notes. I am not a games designer, I'm just a fan of the Destiny franchise. This is a much talked about subject in Destiny, but for any of you who are semi-new to the game, I'll provide a bit of a summary in a moment. Also, contrary to many, I haven't given random rolls a lot of thought until recently, when Houndish made a video asking our opinions, and you can see a link to that in his video in the description below. Random rolls. Along with remove Eververse and bring back Grimoire, random rolls have been a rallying cry for anyone who loved Destiny 1 and isn't too happy about Destiny 2. There are a lot of issues with the sequel, and Bungie is publicly addressing some of these, but I'll just add that I'm still enjoying the game. The gameplay, the experience, the universe of the game, they're all favorable for me, and I'm just looking forward to more and more improvements. If you're not familiar, random rolls refers to armor and weapons that would drop in the game with random perks and stats, making each version of each unique. Your first Hakon's Hatchet from the Iron Banner in Destiny 1, that auto rifle might be different than your second. Your second might have different perks, and that might be different from those of others. Now, Destiny is primarily a looter-shooter game, and while the shooting part is mostly pretty great, barring some needed changes hopefully coming soon, the looter aspect has changed quite a lot since the first game. In Destiny 2, all versions of the same armor and weapons are the same. Your first Better Devil's hand cannon and your 12th are exactly the same, and the same as mine. Now you can augment those weapons with modifications, and by making them Masterworks, which gives a random stat increase, but that's about it. Now the lack of random rolls, along with other factors, has led to a number of issues with Destiny 2, spurring many to demand that random rolls come back. These issues include a lack of things to do, a lack of goals to strive toward, a lack of character and gameplay customization, and thus a streamlined, narrow meta, as in a boring, repetitive, unimaginative gunplay experience. Now, I fully admit that Destiny 2 has those issues, and in much greater supply than the end of Destiny 1, but I don't think random rolls is the way to go. Random rolls are a false narrative, in my opinion. They provide grind, but it's like busy work. It gives us something to do, but the experience doesn't feel meaningful. In Destiny 1, people would redo missions dozens of times trying to get the perfect god roll weapon, and the difficulty of the reward made people feel that the hundreds of hours put in, the grind, so to speak, was worth it. So random rolls brought replayability, but through random chance and through pure repetition. Now, grinding for tokens to get engrams, to get a chance at a weapon or armor piece from vendors in early Destiny 2, is to me exactly like the experience of random rolls in Destiny 1, and we saw how unlikable that system was as it's already been changed in Destiny 2. The three factors here that we need to consider are reward, grind, and customization. We all want to feel rewarded for our time and effort, which we're not when your Better Devils is the same as mine. We all want grind, in that we want goals to strive toward and reasons to return to the game. And we want customization for a unique experience and to show off our effort and achievements. Now, random rolls appears to give all that, but the lack of control concerns me. Killing Omnigul over and over to get that perfect grasp of Malok in Destiny 1 may have been a fun experience in and of itself, but it was not as fun nor rewarding as getting the Black Spindle. Getting a god roll IS Luna doesn't tell me that you're an accomplished player. It tells me that random chance was good to you, or at best that you're a player with a lot of experience who has brute forced the RNG system by grinding for 5,000 hours. In D2, item customization in terms of perks comes from modifications, or mods. You earn these in a number of ways, and they can make your weapon or armor piece stronger, with better stability or reload rate, and your class abilities can come back faster. Now, mods are in theory a good idea, but they fail on the reward aspect and are currently too limited on both grind and customization. They drop randomly, but they are easy to obtain. The perks offered are okay, but not as wide of a range as we would see in Destiny 1, so the customization window is pretty limited. In D1, the same hand cannon could have Firefly, causing enemies to explode upon precision headshots, or it could have crowd control, increased stats when surrounded. There was a lot of variety which made it more difficult to narrow down the meta and made for a more diverse experience. In D2, every better Devil's Hand Cannon, as an easy example, has explosive rounds, and you can augment that to have better reloading or stability. You can change energy and power weapon. You can change the energy and power weapon's damage type, Arc, Solar, or Void, and that's about it. Now, even if the mod system were currently better, getting a Firefly mod to drop might not feel as rewarding as getting a God-rolled weapon to drop with Firefly. That change of experience, while statistically the same, may not feel as rewarding, and we'll come back to that in a little while. The second way that weapons can be augmented in D2 is through Masterworks. Should you have enough Masterwork cores, you can make a weapon or armor piece Masterwork. For weapons, this allows double kills to generate orbs, displays the number of kills achieved, and makes one random stat better. For armor, it provides a 5% damage resistance during your super, and also changes the stat layout of the piece. However, it doesn't change the perks, and again, the window is narrow. There's a certain grind involved, needing to either earn the Masterwork cores. There is a certain grind involved, needing to either earn the Masterwork cores or have the right piece drop. But again, that window of selection is narrow. Now, there was another way in both Destiny 1 and 2 for earning unique weapons, and that was through the weapon quests. In Destiny 1, many were secret, involving a lot of steps, and the method of completing the quests was not always clear. These quests were highly challenging, yet highly rewarding. Some of the most unique and statistically amazing weapons were earned this way. Even the No Time to Explain Pulse Rifle, which was not a great weapon in my opinion, involved a fun challenge of unique missions, completing the Vault of Glass raid, and required a high enough reputation with future War Cult. It wasn't easy to figure out, it was challenging, and while the weapon itself wasn't fun for me, I remember the journey fondly. The same with Black Spindle. I don't even like sniper rifles, but having to wait until the Taniks quest was a daily challenge, and beating it in less than 10 minutes was really fun. My friend and I spent a long time getting the mission down to a science, and the gun was a Destiny 1 favorite for many. Weapon quests are a great idea, but obviously not for every gun, and they were too easy to find and do in Destiny 2. Rather than being secret, they were pinned to the map with objectives laid out for us. They only required time, and while the exotics themselves are pretty favored, everybody loves using Mida, the experience was so easy that it was easily forgotten. There are some interesting design experience challenges here. You want to reward effort and achievement by granting unique items, but those who can't or don't greatly benefit from random chance may never earn said item. You want a system that is challenging and rewarding, but fair, and Destiny 2 made everything so fair that it lost its edge. The process of getting everything isn't challenging, isn't memorable, and isn't rewarding. Now we can all agree that secret exotic quests should come back, and they should be hard to find, hard to discover the way forward, and reasonably tough to accomplish. Considering both random rolls and weapon quests, how do we go forward? For weapon quests, what I've said above pretty much covers it. The exotics in Destiny 2 rained from the sky, and while the world quests were a great idea, both for a gameplay and lore backstory experience, they were too easy and straightforward. You should feel accomplished for earning Mida, and not just because you had some time to do a straightforward mission. Some quick ideas here. Have a quest that's only discoverable if a player tracks down some weird audio somewhere in a patrol zone, and your ghost scans it, or if you kill enough of an enemy faction to get their attention, or you return enough resources to an NPC to get them interested in you. Having secrets in this game made the world seem much bigger and more interesting, and generated a lot of interest from all aspects of the community. For random rolls, here's my idea. I think a forge system plus random mods could be the way to go. We could have tiers of mods, levels of them, and have the ability to get them scale up. Firefly and Outlaw are really hard to get, but Exhumed or Opening Shot may be easier to get. Now, obviously rating mods may be fairly subjective, differing from weapon to weapon, but I think the current mods we have in Destiny 2 would be mostly lower tier, and many of the final item perks from Destiny 1 weapons and armor are more interesting, powerful, and should be harder to acquire. Acquiring mods should be more difficult and yet more controlled than random chance. Have RNG be a factor sometimes through drops, but have some kind of forge system and achievement system where we can work toward it. Now, Bungie has added the ability to craft mods through Banshee the Gunsmith, but the variety again is limited, and many of us likely cannot be bothered. An achievement system like a record book could work well. This book could record the number of kills, scannables, lost sectors, etc. that we've done and have certain mods based on accomplishing them. Thus, some may drop randomly, but others can be worked toward. Example. Maybe Banshee, the gunsmith, tells us that certain smart weapons will only function properly when the gun feels the owner has earned it and is willing to use the weapon in a certain way. We saw this with super good advice in Destiny 1. We see in our progress that if we get 10,000 melee kills on the Fallen, we can get a certain perk for increased melee ability. Now here you can either make it explicit that the perk you're working toward is the Monte Carlo method from Destiny 1, or leave it mysterious enough that we know vaguely what we're working toward. Then, when we get it, boom, we have the Monte Carlo method as a mod and it can be placed on any one weapon. This mod either gets harder to earn after the first time, or the 10,000 melee kills remains the same but still takes a long time to achieve. For easier perks, you can have the same system but lower the difficulty. Thus, there is meaningful grind. I'm working towards something specific, I have a specific way to get there, with some RNG thrown in to help me along the way. If I get the Monte Carlo method through a drop before I reach 10,000 melee kills, I can still work toward it and get a second one, and a third, and so on. For a forge system, you could even allow multiple versions of the same weapon be forged to create either a random version of that weapon or a random mod. This way, your second Better Devils would still matter, as Luke Smith wants. Now you may say, if the forge creates a random roll, why not just have random rolls, as they were in Destiny 1? My answer is basically that the randomly rolled weapon here would be the base weapon with a unique perk added on top, which is different from the random rolls experience from Destiny 1. In terms of reward, grind, and customization, I think this system would have it covered, or at least be a good start. The reward is clear. It may not feel as great as getting a Fatebringer to drop, but if certain unique perks are really hard to get, then they will feel rewarding to earn. Having a progression system allows for grind, reasons to return and replay the game, but gives us control. Maybe you loved killing Omnigull over and over, but I think you might have enjoyed using a key in Destiny 1 to open a specific chest and know you get the specific loot inside. In terms of customization, this would allow you to work toward a greater variety of perks, provided they're part of the system, and allow you to make your Better Devils much different than mine. Perhaps you put Outlaw on yours, and I put Kill Clip on mine. Which is better? Maybe it depends on the player. For the player, there would be true customization here, but everyone starts from the same point. This would allow balancing the Crucible, at least in one way, to be easier. You can have tournaments and private matches in unique playlists where mods are locked out. Mesa Sean has been saying this on his YouTube channel for a long time. Have playlists where the mods are locked out, just using the base weapons, and have others where it's a free-for-all. Variety. Sure, it'll be tough to balance things, but Bungie had to do it before, so they will have to do it again. Also, random point, but why would a gun have random rolls? It's a gun. They're mass-produced in a factory. Anyway. Have all guns drop with a base, be able to add mods, maybe forge several of the same weapon for a randomly rolled weapon, maybe keep some of the mods that you can get obfuscated from the progress so that there's still a mystery or challenge involved. This way we can all get the base weapon, we can work towards something, and we have a chance for a god-rolled weapon. The rework to mods is coming. Bungie has pushed Mods 2.0 back into the fall, I believe. But hopefully that means they are taking this seriously and developing a great system that we can benefit from. I know there's a lot of passion in this community, and I know that we want the perfect game now, and we want Bungie to personally apologize to each of us for delivering bad experiences. But I hope we can reach this positively, critically, and as a community. Feel free to drop some comments, feedback, and suggestions below. Let's make it more constructive than dead game. I love this game, I love playing, and I agree that there are issues. I hope some of the above were good ideas liked by you, but if not, constructively let me know. Thank you all very much for watching and listening. Hopefully your gaming experience continues being great. And if you ever see Kaz PhD out there in the wild, feel free to wave hello. Thanks again for watching, and I'll just let the gameplay here for this game play out. See you all next time. Bye now.
5 minutes remain. Show them what you can do. Nothing can stop you. Three minutes left. Fine work. I expect nothing less. The enemy is gaining. Remind them of your strength. One minute remains. Thirty seconds. Ten seconds. Well fought. That was a battle worthy of Iron Lords.